Hello, everyone, and welcome back to WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan softball. My name is Morris Fabry. Alongside me is Lucas Vargas, and you are listening to the second game of the afternoon, where the Michigan Wolverines are about ready to take on the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. The Redhawks, the home team, heading out there to start things in the field. Michigan will be the visiting team. Leading off for the Wolverines is Faith Canfield at second base. Following her in center field, Natalie Peters. And we'll get the rest later because Courtney Veerstra is about ready to deliver the first pitch of this game. Veerstra lines in the first pitch. Hard riser right down Broadway for strike one.
Yeah, able to get this game going a little bit earlier because of the Fort Wayne team that defeated Robert Morris soundly via the run rule.
Yep, 10-1 was the score of that one. Veerstra, the righty, winds the 1-1, swinging a pop-up foul over the screen.
And Michigan will take on both Fort Wayne and Robert Morris tomorrow.
And we'll be bringing you both of those games. That pitch in on the hands of Canfield sawed her off. Veerstra quickly ahead in the count. 0-2. Veerstra, a sophomore, has a 1.98 ERA, a 6.5 win-loss record. 9 starts this year. The 0-2. Riser just misses, maybe a bit high, maybe a bit outside. Count moves to 1-2 on Faith Canfield.
Faith Canfield had a very nice game this morning as part of the Wolverines' victory over Dayton, 7-0 victory.
The 1-2 on its way, swinging a soft line drive, lands behind the first base bag. It's fielded by the second baseman Tran. The flip to Johnny M. Wall at first, not in time. While ranging back from her first base position, the ball landed over her head, and she did not get back to the first base bag quickly enough. Canfield beats it out for an infield hit. She's on with nobody out for Natalie Peters, who's in center field. Tara Blanco at first base will be on deck. She will be followed by Aiden Falk in right field. Maddie Uden, the third baseman, hits fifth. Hitting sixth, Alex Subject, the DP. Hitting seventh in left field, Haley Hoganrod. Hitting eighth behind the plate is Katie Alexander, and hitting ninth, the shortstop Natalia Rodriguez. In the circle for the Wolverines will be Megan Beaubien. But Peters lines one fair down the third base line. Tracking it down is Morgan Lott to left field. She'll get it into the infield quickly. Canfield will be forced to hold up at second base. But Natalie Peters, yet again, just peppering that left side, lining one through for a base hit, and the Wolverines have 2 on with nobody out here in the top of the first.
Yeah, just perfect ball placement down that third base line, able to get it into fair territory before it bounces towards the warning track. And you're right, she has just been finding her spot down towards that area. Some stay in the infield, some get to the outfield, but her speed takes over from there. She's done a phenomenal job today.
Runners on first and second. Nobody out for Tara Blanco. Veerstra winds. First pitch on the way. Hard riser misses high for ball 1. Blanco, the cleanup hitter, went 1 for 4 against the Flyers earlier today. The lone hit a single up the middle. The 1-0 on its way. Change up in there for a called strike, belt high on the outer half. Blanco only hitting .235 with runners on base this season.
But once again, another strong start for the Michigan offense, getting 2 on base right off the bat.
Blanco squares to bunt. She pulls back. The curveball misses outside for ball 2. Interesting ploy, seeing Blanco bunt this early. I think Carol Hutchins wants to avoid the double play that plagued them last game when they threatened early.
Well, with no outs also, then you have some room to use your batters and however you want to.
Another bunt attempt by Blanco. She pulls back again, and again the pitch misses high and outside. The count moves to 3-1 on the Michigan righty slugger. Blanco back into that right-handed batter's box. Crouches low, square stance. The 3-1 on its way, swinging a rocket foul off the screen on the right side. Looked like a pitch that caught a lot of the plate, but Blanco couldn't quite square it up. A lot of velocity out of the right arm of Courtney Veerstra.
Yeah, definitely a strong pitcher. She can put some heat on the ball for sure.
Nearly a strikeout per inning she's averaging this year. The payoff pitch on its way, swinging a grounder back up the middle, fielded by the second baseman. Slept on the bag for 1, and that is all that Haley Tran will be able to get for the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Blanco beats it out at first base.
And that's a great job by Peters sliding into second, not sliding directly into the baseman, but getting the bag and disrupting a potential throw to first for a double play. So now the Wolverines have runners on third and first.
Absolutely, there was a chance at that. And that brings up Aiden Falk, a chance to do some early damage for the Maize and Blue. Veerstra gets her sign, bends low, delivers. First pitch, changeup off the plate away for ball 1. An aggressive secondary lead for Tara Blanco over there at first base. I'd look to see her try maybe a delayed steal at some point in this at-bat. The 1-0 on its way, swing and a miss.
I think it's a common strategy that we've seen from the Wolverines where they're going to make Miami decide if they want to throw to second or protect home plate on a potential steal.
Well, we have yet to see Blanco leave the bag yet. She's taking some aggressive secondaries. The 1-1 on its way. Hard riser misses high off the outer half for ball 2.
Aiden Falk had some really strong hits in the first game. Not all of them for base hits, but she definitely got some pop under the bat.
1 for 3 in that game with a double. She swings and lines one foul on the left side. The pitch was low and inside. Falk couldn't quite square it up, and the count moves to 2-2.
And when you have a hard-throwing pitcher like Veerstra, you do have an opportunity to really make some hard contact between the ball and the bat. Aiden Falk definitely capable of sending this one deep into the outfield.
The 2-2, swinging a fly ball foul left side. Looked like Veerstra might have taken a bit off of that. Came low and in with the last pitch this time, spots it on the outside corner. Falk fights it off. Infield straight away. The corners both about a step in from the bag, off the lines. Just barely. Veerstra winds. The 2-2 yet again. Swinging a line drive down the left field line, tailing and foul.
Yeah, even though it's been foul balls so far for Falk, you do like the aggressiveness, the ability to keep the at-bat alive, and the confidence knowing that she can indeed get this ball deep into the outfield if she gets the right pitch.
Ball's jumping off her bat. Morgan Lott, the left fielder, very close to that line in left field. Leaves a big left center field gap, but the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a changeup. Runner goes. The runner now goes home. The throw in time. A double play. Tara Blanco tried to force a throw to second. She drew a throw, but it was cut off by the second baseman, Haley Tran. Fired it right back to the catcher, Riley Wispel. Applied the tag. They had Canfield by a few steps.
Yeah, Miami must have seen what Michigan did this morning. Same kind of idea, concept that they used against Dayton to score their first run of the morning. Miami not allowing it to happen to them. They cut off the throw to second a little early and are able to make the throw down to the catcher in time, like you said.
Yeah, 2 strike 'em out, throw 'em out double plays in the first inning for the Wolverines today. One of them produced a run. This one does not. So we head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. A promising rally goes all for naught. We head to the bottom of the first, and Megan Beaubien ready to take the circle for the Michigan Wolverines. The lineup she will be facing, leading off and playing right field, is Megan Wirtz. Hitting second and playing second base, Haley Tran. Hitting third is Ashton Sloan. She'll be a designated hitter. Hitting fourth at first base, Johnny Ann Wall. Hitting fifth at third base, John Wall, Johnny Ann Wall. Spelled very differently. Hitting fifth at third base, Kat Lee. Hitting sixth in center field, Caitlin Glia. Hitting seventh behind the plate, Riley Wispel. Hitting eighth in left field, Morgan Lott. Hitting ninth at shortstop, Mackenzie Moore. That's your Red Hawks lineup. Alexander's throw down to second bounces and nails Natalia Rodriguez in the shin. But that's why you get those little jitters out before the inning starts.
Gotta get the misses out, Mo.
Absolutely. Leading off, Megan Wirtz hitting .393 on the season for Miami, Ohio. 6 of 7 on the weekend with a home run and 6 RBI. First pitch from Beaubien. Curveball misses low for ball 1. The center fielder, Natalie Peters, shaded about 10 steps toward that right center field gap. Aiden Falk in from her normal right field spot. Sort of an interesting shade for the outfield against the righty Wirtz. The 1-0.
Yeah, definitely a shift towards right field, like you said. Pretty sizable gap there between left field and center field.
Yep, and unlike what you would normally see for a righty, the left fielder for the Wolverines, Hoganrod, pretty far off the line.
Kind of on an island.
Yeah. The 2-0 misses low and away. 3 straight balls for the superstar Megan Beaubien to start things off here against Miami of Ohio.
The outstanding freshman pitcher racked up several pitching accolades already this season. Just needs to catch her breath and, like you said, get the jitters out.
4-time Big Ten Pitcher of the Week. Is that what she's got going?
Something like that.
Something like that.
3 or 4 for sure.
13-2 ERA.
Many more to come.
13-2 win-loss, 105 ERA. The 3-0 bounces in front of home plate and to the right, gets by Alexander to the backstop, a 4-pitch walk for Megan Wirtz to start things off.
Ted Blanco's probably just trying to calm her down a little bit.
Yeah, Blanco, a senior member of the Michigan pitching rotation, along with the 2 freshmen in Beaubien and Sarah Schaefer, states that she has really tried to embrace the role of a mentor, and you got to imagine she's got plenty of words of wisdom to deliver to Beaubien after years of experience in the circle herself.
That's the benefit of having someone just out there at first base, not only a senior, but also capable of being a pitcher herself. It's like having an extra coach on the field that can just give advice to Beaubien.
Bunt right back to Beaubien. A little bit to her right, she fields, turns, fires to first, and gets Haley Tran by a step. The sacrifice bunt moves Wirtz up to second base. If she had pushed that a little more toward the third base side, we're probably talking about runners on first and second, no outs.
She's fast, and for someone to attempt a sacrifice bunt, that's a great skill to have. Gives you the threat of, you're right, loading first and second base.
That brings up Ashton Sloan, a lefty, takes the first pitch, a curveball low and away for ball 1.
We have called Tran's name, I feel like, a couple times after her defensive plays she made in the top of the inning.
Sloan hitting .289 this season with 1 home run, 9 RBI. The 1-0. Riser ducks in at the knees on the outside corner for a called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Beaubien working quickly. Winds the pitch. Drop ball misses low for ball 2. Beaubien has consistently been missing a little bit low with her pitches so far.
Right, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with her, but just a little bit of a slow start that we're not quite used to seeing.
An old sort of aphorism that we repeat, that we learned via East of the Rockies interview, is that when you see coaches coming out to the circle for the Wolverines, if it's Jennifer Brundage, she's talking about some sort of a mechanical issue. If it's Carol Hutchins, we're dealing with something mental. Right now, Biggie Brundage out there having some words with Katie Alexander and Megan Beaubien.
See if she can get it fixed up, which I expect her to be able to do so. Certainly shown that she is a very talented and capable pitcher.
She's done it before.
She'll be fine.
She's got 13 wins to show for it.
She will be fine.
Gets the sign, the 2-1. Misses low and in.
She does like to work the inside of the plate.
Count moves to 3-1. Megan Beaubien, only 13 walks issued in 86 and 2/3 innings this year. Already has 1 here in the bottom of the first. Working on her second. The 3-1 on its way. Misses high and outside. And yep, 2 first-inning walks for Megan Beaubien. Atypical for her. That'll bring up Johnny and Wall. Wall, the premier power hitter on this Red Hawks squad. 4 home runs on the season, hitting .280. She's already got 2 home runs this weekend. Well, both of those were yesterday. Beaubien winds, first pitch, curveball called strike, right in on the inside corner above the knees for strike 1.
Yeah, Beaubien does a good job of getting the ball on the inside of the plate, which does make it a little bit harder for some of these hitters.
Beaubien winds the 0-1, misses way high. Alexander springs out of her crouch to grab that one, stop it from going to the backstop. And yeah, Beaubien's been a bit erratic here in the first. Sometimes you go out there and it's just not your day.
No, it's not. But
She'll have to fight through it. The 1-1 on its way, swinging a line drive. That one's going to drop into right field, right in front of Aiden Falk. It's a base hit. Runners will move station to station, and the bases are loaded with 1 out and in the bottom of the first inning. The bases are loaded with 1 out and the bases loaded. That'll bring up Kat Lee, the third baseman. Lee hitting .291 on the season, 1 home run, 12 RBI. She's 2 of 6 on the weekend. Hitting .600 with the bases loaded this season. The righty Lee with her feet close together near the back of the batter's box. First pitch. Curveball misses low for ball 1. Nowhere to put her.
She's just really having a lot of trouble with the control right now.
Beaubien gets the sign from Katie Alexander. The 1-0 in there, right down Broadway for a called strike 1. Beaubien has admitted that one of the adjustments that she's had to make, one of the struggles she's had, is really learning to attack every hitter, not, try to finesse, pitch around them so much. The 1-1 on its way, big swing and a miss by Kat Lee.
Well, that's attacking the hitter right there, making her take a big hack at it and coming up empty.
Yeah, that one might have been dropping low out of the zone. You would think the Redhawks hitters would be a little bit cautious given how Beaubien has struggled to find the zone, but hey, you got the base of juice, sometimes you got to let it rip. The 1-2 on its way, swinging a pop-up foul. She fought one off, up and in. That one to the right side over the screen and out of play. A couple of kids are going to chase that one down. The crowd has turned out for this one.
It is a good group. Both teams, fans from both teams.
Yeah, significantly more red than we saw earlier. The 1-2 on its way, check swing. Riser misses high and outside. The count moves to 2-2. Beaubien can touch the high 60s on the radar gun. Certainly something to deal with. The 2-2 on its way, swinging a pop-up foul out of play on the right side yet again. A curveball in on the hands. Beaubien went outside, came back inside, and Kat Lee gamely fought it off. Keeps the at-bat alive here with 1 out, and the bases loaded in the bottom of the first of a scoreless tie. Lee awaits the 2-2 yet again. Swing and a miss. Might have gotten a foul tip into the glove. And the Michigan faction on the right side of us issues unanimous applause for Megan Beaubien. Now 2 outs. Bottom of the first base is still juiced. And that brings up Caitlin Glia.
Yeah, big strikeout for Beaubien. Let's see if that can slow her down and get her back to the more normal Megan Beaubien that we are used to.
First pitch to Glia. Curveball just misses off the plate, low and away. A close pitch. Not going to get the call from home plate umpire Tony Greer. Greer now behind the plate. Tim Clem over at first base. The 1-0. Changeup just misses high. 2-0 the count. Again, nowhere to put Caitlin Glia.
Yep, no room for error here. No room for a walk.
At third base, the umpire in this one is Kim Johnson. Glia hitting .237 on the season. The 2-0 curveball called strike, thigh high. Caught a lot of the plate. Got to think Glia was taking unless it was the one pitch that she would swing at.
Exactly.
Infield deep up the middles, even with the bag at the corners. The 2-1 misses high. The count moves to 3-1 on Caitlin Glia. Beaubien fighting it. The conditions, I'd say it's gotten a little bit warmer outside, but probably a little windier as the day has gone on.
I do wonder if the cold on her hand might be bothering her a little bit, but
3-1 pitch, called strike just at the knees. Alexander, visible frame job. Got the call from Tony Greer.
Oh, great frame job.
Glia, an open stance in the righty batter's box, awaits the payoff pitch, swinging a pop-up, might stay in play. Blanca ranging over toward the dugout. She makes the catch a few steps from the fence in front of the first base dugout, and Megan Beaubien escapes a jam with no damage done. She loads the bases with 1 out, but we're still scoreless heading into the top of the second inning.
Yeah, it's great work just as a team from the Wolverines to be able to get that job done, get out of that jam, because that was a tough inning for Megan Beaubien as far as her control and location of pitches went, but being able to get out of there without giving up any runs, definitely a positive for the Wolverines, and I expect them to settle down more so as the game progresses.
Yeah, team huddle in front of the Michigan dugout. Hutch actually left it a couple seconds before everybody else broke apart and went on in. Not sure who was sharing words, but understandable that some words would be exchanged after a emotionally taut first inning.
Yeah, probably a little bit more stressful than they expected it to be, but maybe that could wake them up. And after the 2-out play to end the top of the first, where the Wolverines weren't able to score from third, the strikeout, and then the tag out at home plate, and then loading the bases up themselves, Miami doing so in the bottom of the inning. A little stressful.
Yeah, it was like a 1-2-4-2 double play or something to end the first inning. Yeah, we've already had to strike him out, throw him out at the plate, and the bases loaded 1-out jam produced no runs, and we're only in the top of the second. Maddie Uden leading things off for the Wolverines. Vierstra looks in, gets the sign, delivers. Uden squares to bunt, pulls back, takes a ball that dips low and away for ball one. Uden had some sparkling defensive plays in game one for the Wolverines today. Went 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. Riser starts high, stays high. The count 2-0 now on Madison Uden. Infield and outfield straight away. The outfield maybe a little bit toward the lines, giving the center fielder Glia plenty of room to operate. The 2-0 squares to bunt, pulls back, curveball called strike outside half. A little bit of pregame scouting for you. I had a discussion with some sources who will remain unnamed. They said they saw about half of the Miami, Ohio team at Starbucks today, this morning, as the 2-1 pitch is skied foul on the left side. Said they looked very loose, calm, relaxed. Looking at them, you wouldn't know they were about to play one of the biggest games of their season.
Well, the nice thing for them is that they didn't have to travel anywhere. A nice home tournament. They can go to their local Starbucks. Nice and relaxed.
Creature comforts. The 2-2 swing and a miss. Vierstra blows away Madison Uden for the first out here in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, Vierstra gave up a couple base runners in the top of the first, but she has also looked pretty comfortable up on the mound anyways, showing it right there with the smooth strikeout. But you're right, this Miami team is playing loose and looks like they're having fun.
First pitch fought off, popped up foul. Nice catch by a fan, I'd say unaffiliated, maybe affiliated with Fort Wayne or Robert Morris. Either way, an over-the-shoulder snag by a older middle-aged gentleman. Count 0-1 on Alex Subject. Pitch on its way. Fought off down the right field line. It's going to land about 5 feet foul. Maybe 30 feet behind first base. Subject hitting .237 on the year. Went 2 for 4 in game one today.
Yeah, most of the Wolverine lineup had a lot of success. Just 1 or 2 girls that only registered maybe 1 or no hits, but everybody else was very, very effective in that lineup.
Getting in on the party. Some gas is just barely tipped foul by Alex Subject. The high heater fouled back to the screen. Count remains 0-2 on the Michigan designated player. She's played some third base, played some catcher. Today just hitting. The 0-2 swinging another fly ball foul into the parking lot over a Miami Redhawks trailer. Who knows where that bounced? Might have hit a windshield. 0-2 the count remains. Subject going to shorten up the swing. Stands toward the back of the box, holds the bat out in front of her, pulls it back. The 0-2 called. Strike 3. Courtney Vierstra dealing here in the top of the second.
Yeah, able to paint the corner of the plate on that pitch. Subject definitely did not think she was going to be headed out on that pitch. But the ump told her differently.
Yeah, almost had, I mean, I don't know that that's a thing. It almost had like some screwball action. Just firm on that outside corner. That brings up Haley Hoganrod. Swing and a miss at the first one. A riser high. There she is chasing that high cheese that I wouldn't have known that it was something that she struggled with, but she revealed it on a podcast, so she must be willing to come to terms with her personal weaknesses.
She is also one of those girls that wasn't able to get too much going on the offensive end in the first game, but still made her presence felt in the Dayton game.
Yeah, she was 0 for 3 in that game, but yeah, made some defensive plays. She did get a walk. Anyway, the count is 0-1 with nobody on and 2 outs for Haley Hogenrod. Pitch on its way from Bierstra. Took something off of that one and spots it beautifully on the outside corner. Well, it was called on the outside corner. Might have been a couple inches off, but maybe my bias is showing here. The count 0-2 on Hogenrod. The 0-2 on its way. Curveball misses outside. Good pitch, really trying to stretch that zone and get Hogenrod to chase. Hogenrod did not oblige.
She's trying to set her up, maybe go back to the inside of the plate, which she got her last strikeout on.
Hogenrod awaits the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Courtney Veerstra strikes out the side. And we head into the bottom of the second inning. A scoreless tie here in Oxford, Ohio.
Yeah, Courtney Veerstra absolutely filthy in that inning, just dealing strikeouts up and down. It's now Megan Beaubien's turn to respond.
She struck out the side.
Ooh.
That's the best you're going to get on, 4 hours of sleep.
Oof.
And 4 hours of driving.
It was a journey this morning. It was a journey.
Beaubien waiting for Katie Alexander to get behind the plate. I do believe that Alexander was the on-deck hitter, so she didn't have all of her gear on and ready to go. And apparently, no one else is willing to stand behind the plate with Beaubien warming up, so maybe a bit of a lengthier delay between innings here.
Maybe Beaubien just wants to work with her primary catcher right now as well. Get some of that location down.
Yeah, maybe she's one of those pitchers who's really particular about which catcher she chooses. I've not heard any history of that happening in Michigan, but you don't know what kind of stuff goes on behind the scenes.
You never know what the mind of a pitcher is like. Very consistent is what they desire. They desire consistency.
Yeah, and sometimes the greats work a little differently than the rest of us. And Megan Beaubien certainly has the potential to do some great things at Michigan.
Yeah, she was going to look to show that potential in the second inning after a little bit of a rough first. So we'll see how she responds to some slight adversity, but the Wolverines also were able to avoid any damage in the first inning. They look to do so again in the second.
She'll be facing the catcher Riley Wispel to lead things off. First pitch curveball misses low and in for ball 1. I don't know how many first pitch strikes Beaubien has thrown, but it's not many. The 1-0 on its way. Curveball called strike backdoor on the outside corner. That was pinpoint location, what we expect from Beaubien. Wispel, the catcher, hitting 184 on the season. The 1-1 on its way. Riser never really had a chance. Low and away for ball 2. Yeah, maybe the weather is taking its toll, but Beaubien is from Michigan as well.
That's what I was thinking when I thought about maybe the cold on her hand, but she's from like you said, from Michigan, so she should be used to playing at least some high school ball from the cold weather.
Yeah. Anyway, 2-2 the count now as she spots a curveball at the knees. She winds. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a line drive toward the Michigan dugout, hit the screen just shy. The count remains 2-2 as these Miami hitters continue to make Megan Beaubien work.
They're going to try and get into the pitch count as much as possible.
Another 2-2 changeup, swing and a miss. Wispel down on strikes. That one actually a pretty fat pitch to hit as far as 2-strike offerings are concerned, but Wispel couldn't square it up. So 1 up, 1 down for the Red Hawks here in the bottom of the second, and that brings up Morgan Lott, the left fielder.
I believe that's our 4th straight strikeout as well from back-to-back pitchers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I thought you were like Beaubien, but wait, she got a pop out to end the inning. But yeah, 4 straight hitters who have gone up to the plate have struck out. Lott takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Lott is a slapper, hitting 138 on the season. 4 for 29. Beaubien winds. The 1-0 swing and a chop foul on the left side.
You can see the pet-friendly atmosphere here in the Miami softball stadium. There's a Labrador retriever over on the right first base line.
Oh, yeah, there is. Yellow lab. Looks like more of a white lab, an aged one now. As Lott squares to bunt, pulls back, and the pitch misses low for ball 2. That's primarily where Beaubien has missed so far, which, you know, I guess maybe that's where you want to be missing rather than leaving pitches up in the zone where they can be damaged.
Mm-hmm.
The 2-1. Curveball misses low again, and the count runs to 3-1 on Morgan Lott.
Well, she's going to put pressure on this umpire to, you know, give her a couple 50-50 calls as well. She likes to work the inside and the low strike zone from what I've noticed.
3-1 the count. Lott, the lefty, stands in the middle of the box, slightly open stance. A curveball misses just a bit high. Ball 4, the 3rd walk of the game from Megan Beaubien. She started this game with 13 walks in 86 innings. Now she's got 3 walks in 1 1/3. Again, just not what we're used to seeing out of her.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. And just hasn't gotten those pitches to get called the way that she would like or to be located where she wants it.
Mackenzie Moore squares to bunt, pulls back. Drop all over the plate for a called strike 1. Moore, another lefty, hitting 200 on the season. Bottom of this Red Hawks lineup, not statistically impressive, but they're aboard with 1 out. She bunts again, pitches high, and she bounces it past home plate and back to the screen. So now the count 0-2 on Mackenzie Moore.
Yeah, Mackenzie Moore going with the attempted sacrifice bunt.
Beaubien gets her sign. The 0-2 on its way. Rise ball starts high, stays high. The count moves to 1-2 on Mackenzie Moore.
And Alexander catching ready to anticipate a steal attempt by number 2, the first baseman Lott, who's at first base.
The 1-2, curveball called, strike 3 on the outer half, right there at the knees. Another one of those 50-50 pitches. Beaubien gets this one for the 2nd out of the inning. Morgan Lott over at first base, 3 for 3 on stolen base attempts this season. That'll bring up the top of the lineup, and Megan Wirtz. She has not seen a strike yet this game.
Yeah, Wirtz a beneficiary of some wild pitching from Beaubien.
First pitch, check swing. Curveball misses low and away. Appeal down to first. And Tim Clem says she did not go. Probably the correct call.
I'd have to agree. And as I mentioned earlier this morning, I saw the first time that the first base ump had ever called a strike on a check swing in my time watching baseball or softball.
1-0 the count now on Wirtz, hitting .393. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. The throw down to second as the runner goes is not in time. It's a stolen base for Morgan Lott. And that was a defensive hack meant to protect the runner there from the batter Wirtz as she cut about a second after the pitch got to the catcher Alexander.
Well, that's an athletic save by Rodriguez. If that gets by her, maybe there's a runner at third instead.
1-1 the count, pitch on the way. Curveball misses high for ball 2. I think Beaubien will definitely take that swing and a miss.
Oh, absolutely. She can work with
kind of bailing out a pitcher who's not finding the zone right now by utilizing that. 2-1 on its way up and in, and it hit the hitter, Megan Wirtz, I think on the hands as it skimmed by her. Yeah, Beaubien can't find it today. Not really sure how to deal with this, Lucas.
I just not like something that we've seen all year. Just uncharacteristic to have basically her 4th free runner on base.
Brundage out there again to talk to her freshman hurler.
Wirtz, second time for her that she has not had to hit to get on base.
That'll bring up Haley Tran, the lefty second baseman. A speed demon, a sacrifice bunt. She almost got on base in the first inning.
Say that's not out of the question in this scenario.
Well, it's pretty out of the... Well, a bunt is not out of the question. A
sacrifice
is
bunt, yes.
Definitely out of the question, given that there are 2 outs. But yeah, definitely a player who you might be wary of a bunt to get aboard. Home plate umpire Tony Greer heading out to break up the conference as Biggie Brundage sharing some words yet again. Departs with a smile. Her face becomes more intense as she approaches the dugout. Tran starts at the back of the box. Gets the run up, the slapper approach. First pitch, curveball in there for a called strike. Beaubien turning up the gas on that one. And I'm beginning to think that outfield shift I saw early might be a permanent shift for Beaubien. The 0-1 check swing fouled back to the screen off the bottom of the backstop on the left side. I think that just with Beaubien throwing as hard as she does, the center fielder Peters is just going to be shading toward the opposite field because it's just that difficult to barrel one up and get it in the pull gap.
No, I think that's accurate analysis. They seem to move pretty consistently to the opposite side of the hitter.
The 0-2 curveball low, slapped foul by the second baseman Haley Tran. Fighting to stay alive now. Down in the count 0-2. Beaubien working with an advantage. Gets her sign. The 0-2 on its way. Curveball off the plate away for ball 1. And again, that might be another one of those setup pitches.
I think that's one of those balls that you're okay with throwing, extending the zone a little bit.
1-2 swing and a miss. Beaubien took a ton off of that one. The changeup pulls the string. Beaubien's third strikeout of the game. And that'll take us into the top of the third. Still scoreless here in Oxford, Ohio in this showdown between the Michigan Wolverines and the Miami of Ohio Redhawks.
I think Megan Beaubien is really starting to get a little bit more comfortable now as we move into this game.
Well, it's easy to say that now after she got out. No, you're
another strikeout.
She did look pretty solid. Getting out of that jam. But another problem that will confront these Wolverines is Courtney Veerstra also appears to have gotten dialed in last inning. She just struck out the side. She'll be facing the 8-9-1 hitters in the Wolverines order in Katie Alexander, Natalia Rodriguez, and Faith Canfield.
Yeah, right now Courtney Veerstra is locked in, as you mentioned. And this Miami, Ohio team is not accepting the underdog role too easily.
Veerstra, a tall, imposing righty with a long brown, that is a ponytail, a braided ponytail, maybe with a ribbon in her hair.
I'll go with that, sure.
A lot of white visors around the infield.
It's visor season.
Absolutely. All red unis, white numbers. That's red tops, red bottoms for Miami of Ohio. White socks, white cleats. Truly uniforms, the same for everyone. Michigan again in their white duds with blue sleeves, blue pants, a yellow stripe down either side. Dark blue socks with the yellow M, the maize M, as is tradition. Alexander, the catcher, hitting .273 on the season. Starting things off for the Wolverines in the top of the third, takes the first pitch, a changeup called strike on the inside corner. There just have not been many good pitches to barrel up for the Wolverines in this game.
No, their opportunities have really been limited. They did have a couple in the first, but not enough.
0-1 curveball misses low for ball 1. I think the only Michigan hitter to really barrel one up, probably Natalie Peters.
That Peters hit right down the third baseline that was barely fair. I'd say that was their best opportunity to really get a hard hit. Not much sense.
1-1 jam shot, shallow left field. That's going to drop for a leadoff base hit for Katie Alexander. It hung up in the air, but not quite long enough for the charging lot to get under it. And the catcher leads things off strong for the Wolverines here in the top of the third.
Yeah, right on cue, able to drop the ball in between the shortstop and the left fielder. Gives the Wolverines a good start to the top of the third inning.
That brings up Natalia Rodriguez. Had a very strong opening game of this weekend, 2 for 2. Pitch on the way, squares to bunt, pops it up off the screen behind home plate. She had a bunt base hit and an infield single between home and the rubber in that game 1. She leads the team in sacrifice bunts, looking to add to that total. She's got 4 on the season. Pops it, drops right down between home and the rubber. The throw to first is in time to the covering Tran. The third baseman, Catley, the one to make the play. Everybody converging on that one spot where Rodriguez laid it down.
Well, I think her mission was accomplished by just advancing Alexander to second base, and now Faith Canfield, who we all know how talented she is, will get her second opportunity of the game. She did reach base in that first inning, so she will step to the plate, looking to do so again and advance Alexander.
Swing and a fly ball, left field way back, a no-doubt home run for Faith Canfield. As they say, Faith Canfield can hit as well. An absolute bomb to left field, and the Wolverines are on the board here with 2 in the top of the third.
If Faith Canfield cans a 2-run dinger right over the left field wall, a shot of beauty. And that's the Wolverines that we were looking for all game so far.
Yeah, Canfield extends her lead in home runs on this Michigan team. That is number 6 on the season for the Michigan junior second baseman.
We'll see if that can pump some life into this Wolverines team, give them that shot of energy in the arm that they need. Maybe heat up the bats some more.
She might have killed the rally, though. Now there's nobody on base with 1 out for Natalie Peters.
So I thought to start fresh.
Pitch from Veerstra. A slow changeup, drops just a bit low for ball 1.
Peters, the other Wolverine that reached base in the first inning, with a line drive down the third baseline, barely stayed fair.
At top of the lineup, 3 for 3 in this game for the Wolverines, the first 2 hitters. The 1-0 again misses low for ball 2 on Natalie Peters. I will say that Natalia Rodriguez bunt, it's one of the few specific scenarios in which I'm okay with a bunt, just because of the kind of hitter that Rodriguez is and, who is following her in the lineup. The 2-0 on its way. Peters swings a line drive to the left side through for a base hit. Sounds like a broken record, but Peters is really on one this weekend.
It's another hard hit that scoots by the third baseman once again, this time a little bit more inside, but a single nonetheless. And as you mentioned, I do like the bunt from Rodriguez as well, just because it does move her teammate Alexander to second. Not that it ended up mattering, but
she would have scored from first, second, or third. I like it because it caused Faith Canfield to hit a home
run. Slight
run.
Insurance policy, and now the Wolverines can say they brought another runner in from scoring position.
Blanco takes the first pitch off speed, misses low and away. Coach Carol Hutchins demonstrative as she flashes signs to Peters over at first and gives some advice to Blanco. Looked like she was trying to tell her to stay in her process. It's one of her Hutchisms. Swinging a line drive, right center field gap. That one's going to get all the way to the wall. Peters rounding second, heading to third. Rounding third, heading to the plate. The throw will not be in time. It is an RBI double for Tara Blanco. Now,
Peters turns on the Jets.
I'm not sure whether or not Peters actually touched home.
That's what I actually noticed that as well.
Let's hope the players don't appeal that at all.
I don't believe there's any video replay, right?
No, we'll see what home plate umpire Tony Greer has to say, but first they'll have to actually appeal it. As soon as the pitch gets thrown, the run counts. But yeah, good piece of hitting by Tara Blanco. She did stay in the process. Sent that pitch right back where it came from, and then some.
Well, Veerstra, we mentioned that she's an imposing pitcher that just kind of rifles it down the plate. Looks like the Wolverines have just decided to swing at it, and anytime they've been able to make solid contact, it's gone to the outfield pretty much.
First pitch, change up low and away for ball 1. So the run does count, in case there was any question.
I did have some doubt, but
the only one who will ever really know, well, the only ones are Natalie Peters and Tony Greer. I don't think we'll be able to track him down and ask after the game.
Peters really showing off that speed.
She's got wheels for days.
Coming from first all the way around home.
Another changeup misses low and away for ball 2. So Aiden Falk struck out her first at-bat.
Wolverines really exerting themselves now, and Aiden Falk, powerful hitter.
Swinging a line drive over the glove of the shortstop Moore and into left center field. That one will get all the way to the wall. Tara Blanco rounding third, heading to the plate. Falk into second base, standing up. The Wolverines rolling here in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, rolling might be the wrong word. Maybe it's smashing this third inning. They are just delivering hit after hit to the outfield wall, just attacking the pitches from Veerstra.
Yeah, I think Veerstra's done. Veerstra's day is done. She was quite solid through the first 2 innings, but things just unraveled for her. Started with the leadoff single from Katie Alexander. A bit of bad luck. It was a good pitch, a jam shot. Rodriguez bunted her over, and then Faith Canfield just, it all broke loose when she cleared that fence.
They opened the floodgates.
Ever since then, it's been hard hit ball after hard hit ball. Peters a rocket, Blanco a rocket, Falk a rocket, and that's going to bring in Taylor Rothy.
And I think we mentioned Megan Beaubien with something that she said that she has to work on like attacking batters instead of just being finesse. Well, maybe, I think maybe a little bit of finesse can come in handy sometimes, I mean, fastball after fastball, if a team can figure it out, then they can really, really get their offense going. Yeah, it appears that the Michigan Wolverines did so.
Yeah, sometimes when you're facing a lineup that's as locked in as the Wolverines have been this inning, not much you can do.
This inning is a little bit reminiscent of the Wichita State inning, where they just piled on the runs, and
they haven't looked back since.
Yeah, no, they have not. Waiting on the new pitcher, who has an 11.45 ERA coming into this, but only 18.1 innings pitched on the year.
We're going to get some information on Taylor Rothy as soon as we can. Madison Uden, the hitter now for the Wolverines. The lefty against the lefty Rothy. Aiden Falk still down at second. First pitch from Rothy, Uden takes. Curveball called strike, inner half. Caught a good chunk of the plate. Uden 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
Rothy has given up 30 runs, it looks like, in 18.1 innings pitched on the season.
The 0-1, swinging a ground ball foul. Uden a little over anxious on that pitch. Caught that with the end of the bat, and Bonnie Thole, the first base coach, had to knock it down. Taylor Rothy is a freshman out of Cary, Illinois. Played 1 year for Escanaba High School in Michigan. The 0-2, swinging a pop-up foul. That one going to bounce right in front of the press box. Just got over the screen. Rothy, a freshman, actually was a homeschool student, interestingly enough.
Interesting. Must have had a club softball team or whatnot.
Yeah, she did. I think that 1 year at Escanaba was
a pretty big year.
Yeah, but she definitely was playing on some travel ball, as players do nowadays. The 0-2 on its way to Uden, swing and a miss. Looked like an off-speed breaking ball, and Uden was off balance that entire at-bat.
It's a little bit of finesse, I guess, to break up the constant stream of fastballs.
Yeah, that change of pace can be pretty lethal. We'll see how the Wolverines do once they get a chance to take in what Taylor Rothy has to offer. That brings up Alex Subject. Strikeout looking her first at-bat. First pitch here, a changeup. Starts high, couldn't quite drop down into the zone. Ball 1 to the Michigan DP. Rothy checks the armband. Gets her sign, dips down low, winds, delivers. Riser misses off the plate away for ball 2. The Wolverines, a couple batters away from hitting a round in the inning. Here with 2 outs and Aiden Falk down at second base. Rothy looks in, gets the sign from the catcher Wispel. Subject swings and lines it foul off the screen on the right side.
It's a really hard hit foul ball.
It was. The left fielder a lot, hugging the line down that left field side. Again, the defensive alignments are such that Glia, the center fielder, has plenty of room to work. The 2-1 popped up on the infield. It's a basket catch charging behind the mound by Kat Lee for the final out of the inning. So Subject goes down, as do the Wolverines, but not until after they pour it on, putting up a crooked number, a 4 spot in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half. Michigan with a 4-0 lead here on WCBN Sports' broadcast of Michigan softball.
So Veerstra folds in the top of the third inning. Megan Beaubien still around. We'll see if she's able to continue her inning-to-inning improvement in this game. We thought Veerstra was locked in the third, but turned out to be the opposite.
Yeah, it just goes to show, not necessarily a reliable thing to predict the rest of a performance off of 1 inning or 2 innings. Just like it's not a good idea to predict an entire softball season off of the first, few games
I would
or
say
whatnot.
I would agree with that.
There's only so much you can tell about how players are going to progress on a micro scale or on a macro scale.
Lots of room for improvement.
Always.
Every game, really.
Always. Yeah, Hutch said that the areas in which she was looking for improvement this weekend was she wanted the team to be swinging a little freer. Up until that last inning, I can't endorse seeing that, but saw a lot of free swings out of the top of the lineup.
Saw some very confident swings in the top of the third inning, and that just led to 4 runs for the Wolverines.
So it'll be Ashton Sloan, followed by Johnny and Wall and Kat Lee. First pitch to the lefty, Sloan. Curveball misses low for ball 1. So 1-0 the count on Sloan. Reached base with a walk. Part of that threatening first inning. The 1-0 pitch, curveball called, strike at the knees. Again, Peters a few steps toward that left center field gap on the lefty Sloan, who stands toward the back of the box with a wide square stance. 1-1, swinging a grounder right back to Beaubien, and she fields and flips over to first. When I went in for interviews, I saw the end of the Wolverines practice, and while most of the squad was doing sort of an inter-squad scrimmage with Tara Blanco and Sarah Schaefer pitching, Beaubien was in a batting cage with, I think, Mackenzie Nemitz and another teammate just taking grounder after grounder after grounder. These players work to produce the results that you see in front of you.
Well, it's a really underrated skill for a pitcher to have, just the ability to just collect a returned hit that comes to your feet or maybe bounces to your glove and just toss it to your pitcher. It's something that a lot of people take for granted, but definitely a skill that needs to be worked on.
Beaubien behind in the count, 2-0 now. The first pitch, breaking ball low and away. Second pitch, breaking ball low. Think a curve. But yeah, it's one of those things where an extra 1,000 or 2,000 repetitions might be the difference between 1 or 2 hits over the course of the season. And Beaubien, like clockwork, snags a rocket one hopper back to the circle, flips over to Blanco. Cat-like reflexes from the Michigan freshman in the circle.
I mean, right on cue. You don't make that play if you don't practice and anticipate that kind of skill being necessary in a game. And as a freshman pitcher, that's incredible to have the ability and the reflexes to not only catch the ball, but then to calmly toss it over to Tara Blanco.
That brings up Kat Lee, swing and a miss. Changeup absolutely pulled the string. Lee struck out swinging her first at-bat with the bases loaded and 1 out back in the first. Lee, the righty, awaits. The 0-1. Rise ball misses high outside. Count now 1-1. But yeah, each 1,000 reps only makes a little bit of difference, but it's cumulative. The 1-1 pitch, changeup, just misses high for ball 2.
And Carol Hutchins doesn't exactly strike me as a coach that would let the details go to rest.
You are not wrong. 2-1 the count on the righty Kat Lee. Pitch on the way. Curveball just misses, maybe a bit low. The count now 3-1 on Kat Lee. Lee, a righty, wears Number 11 stands toward the back of the box, slightly open stance. Bat nearly parallel to the ground over her right shoulder. She swings and fouls away. A pitch down in the zone. The count runs full.
A little bit of action here in Oxford, Ohio, nestled in between the football and basketball stadiums here.
I like the array of trees, different trees, around the outfield fence. The payoff pitch fouled into the screen on the right side, right in front of a couple of Michigan super fans and Griffin Hickman and Stu Burlow. They follow the team all over the place. They follow us all over the internet. Always appreciated. Another payoff pitch, another foul to the right side. This one off the screen in front of the Michigan dugout. So the count stays full. Lee's fouled off a few pitches in this at-bat. Lee, the third baseman, awaits another payoff pitch, swing and a miss. It bounces off the glove of the catcher, Alexander, all the way back to the backstop. But Lee took a couple steps toward the dugout, and they're going to say she got a piece of that pitch. The Wolverines halfway back into the dugout, but it was a foul tip, and that's why it bounced off the glove of Alexander and back to the backstop.
I thought she did get a piece of it.
Yeah, it's unlike Alexander to just drop a pitch like that.
Yeah, I for sure thought that it was a foul tip.
Lee, a 5'5" senior out of Mission Viejo, California, will get one more crack at it. Another payoff pitch, another line drive to the right side, and there's a young man sitting on the railing of the bleachers, and he's got to be right at the edge of that protective netting, and that line drive was headed straight for his head, if not for the screen. That's why they have it up there.
That might not be the best place to watch this game.
Another full count pitch, swinging a ground ball left side, backhand stop by Rodriguez, deep in the hole, the throw across the diamond, she makes the play. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Megan Beaubien, and through 3, it's 4-0 Wolverines.
What a throw. What a throw. And we saw a couple of people have some footing problems over in that general area this morning, but not in that play.
Natalia, a natural, out there at shortstop. Really has flashed the leather this weekend. Well, today. Today counts as this weekend.
Oh, looks like they're going to kick this kid off of the railing.
Yeah. Looks like one of the gentlemen in the press box actually just advised him that it's probably not a great place to hang out. I mean, you fall one way, you're falling onto the steps. You fall the other way, you fall on top of a dugout. I'm sure he's very confident in his balance, but just strikes me as a thing you'd want to generally avoid.
That's what the chairs are for.
Yeah. Hey, good looks to the staff here at the Red Hawks Stadium. They were all over it. So Taylor Rothy ready to get things going again for the Red Hawks. The Wolverines sending up the 7-8-9 hitters in Hogan Rod, Alexander, and Natalia Rodriguez.
We'll have to see if they can get the offense going the same way they were able to in the third inning. Similar situation where they started towards the bottom of the lineup.
This time it'll be Hogan Rod, 0 for 1 with a strikeout in this one. She'll be facing a different arm from a different side. First pitch, slow curveball, catches the outside corner for a called strike 1. Hogan Rod yet to really barrel one up this weekend. The 0-1 on its way. That one a changeup, misses off the plate outside. Count moves to 1-1 on Hogan Rod.
4 runs on 7 hits for Michigan.
Rothy checks her armband. Checks the sign from the catcher Whistle. She winds the 1-1, swinging a fly ball down the right field line, tailing. That one could be trouble, and it lands about a 1.5 foot foul.
Oh, that looked promising. Just carried a little bit too far over the first base foul line.
Yeah, Megan Wirtz gave chase, and it was really going to be a hair's breadth away from her glove if it was, landing on the line. Would have been very close. As such, out of her reach because it was a little bit foul. The count 1-2 on Hogan Rod. Rothy gets the sign. Slow changeup, starts high, stays high. Count even at 2-2. There's high cheese, and then there's the kind of stuff you'd have to tomahawk chop at. Hoganrod not tempted. Rothy looks in. The 2-2. Looked like a riser. Misses off the plate outside. The count full on Haley Hoganrod.
Hoganrod showing some patience. Looking for a pitch that can carry deep.
Hutch really likes to see good at-bats out of her hitters. The 3-2 fouled back to the screen, and she mentioned Hoganrod and Uden as players who really have been excelling in that department that might not show up on the stat sheet. And yeah, we see it right here, right now. Hoganrod showing patience, working the count full, fouling one off, spoiling a pitch. Now it remains to be seen if she can get a rally started for the Maize and Blue. Another 3-2 pitch, soft grounder over to the right side. Haley Tran, the second baseman. Fields flips to first for the first out of the inning. So it's a 7-pitch at bat, but it ends with Hoganrod strolling back to the dugout. The first out of the inning for the Wolverines.
Well, at the very least, it'll give the Wolverines another look at Rothy, kind of analyze the way that she pitches.
That'll bring up Katie Alexander. A bloop single to left in her first at-bat. Swing and a drive way back into left field. And that ball is gone. It's a solo shot for Katie Alexander. Hit it about the same direction as her bloop single, only about 150 feet further. The Wolverines take a 5-run lead.
Basically the same spot as Canfield's dinger, and the Wolverines now dialed it in for 2 dingers in the one game. How about that?
Same percentage of doubt that ball was going to leave the yard. That being 0.
It's a no doubter. No doubter.
Been saying Alexander's got the most raw power on this team. When she connects, it goes a long way. She connected. That ball went a long way. Might still be rolling down that hill.
How about the work that the bottom of the lineup has been putting in for the Wolverines today? I mean, Alexander, it's her second run. She had the home run. I mean, Hoganrod, while not able to get on base, I think set it up by getting a good look at some of these pitchers.
Yeah, Natalia Rodriguez has yet to have a bad at-bat today. Takes the first pitch in under her hands for ball 1. Had a sack bunt her last at-bat. The 1-0 takes. Curveball misses low for ball 2. Rodriguez, 2 for 2 in game 1. Has made defensive play after defensive play. Now with nobody on, 1 out, trying to start or continue a Michigan rally. She takes high for ball 3. I'll tell you, we talked about this Michigan lineup going into this weekend on East of the Rockies, and I pegged Rodriguez as maybe the weak spot in the lineup. She's been anything but that so far. The 3-0, she takes all the way. It's a curveball right down Broadway for strike 1. She's not physically impressive. She doesn't hit the ball a long way, but
I'd say, I mean, like that bunt that even just moved Alexander to second. It's a big important play.
Swinging a pop-up over the glove of the sprawling shortstop, more into shallow left field. It's a hit beyond the infield for the first time this weekend for Natalia Rodriguez. She's 3 for 3 on the day, 1 for 1 on the game, and she's on first base with 1 out. She's an artist. Every hit is just perfectly placed just where the defense can't get.
Right where it needs to go, exactly.
That one landed on the dirt, probably rolled on the dirt. Still a base hit. That brings up Canfield. You know what she's done today. Rothy Wines, pitch on the way, curveball, starts outside, couldn't catch the corner. The count 1-0 on Faith Canfield. Probably Michigan's premier hitter.
Let's see if she can go yard again, maybe.
I'll tell you, I'm waiting on it. The 1-0 on its way. Swing and a rocket foul. One hop off the screen in front of Michigan's dugout on the right side. The count 1-1. 1 on, 1 out for the Wolverines here in the top half of the 4th inning, looking to add to a 5-run lead. Rodriguez definitely a threat to go down at first base. Rothy winds, delivers, changeup. Rodriguez does go. The throw down to second, not in time. It's a bang-bang play and a stolen base for Natalia Rodriguez.
Another runner that's in scoring position for the Wolverines. I think that's what Faith Canfield likes to see.
The count will be, that might have been a called strike. The count 1-2. I thought that was a ball that missed low and away, but put 2 strikes on his right hand. So the 1-2 up and in, ouch! Canfield was turning, opening up her hips to swing, but as a result couldn't quite dodge out of the way in time, and it hit her in her upper torso. She looks fine. Ran down to first. Not getting any coaching attention. Yeah, you know what? To bail her out of a tough count.
I think she's all right, but just obviously no fun when you take a softball to the upper chest area. Looks painful, but these are some tough girls.
We've already seen Alex Subject battle after fouling one right off of her shin in the first game. So Natalie Peters steps up to the plate. She's 2 for 2 on the game.
So with 1 out only, the Wolverines do have a great opportunity right now to extend their lead.
Peters 5 of 6 on the day. Rothy winds, the first pitch she takes. Curveball hangs away for ball 1. Rothy did her job cleaning up Fierstra's mess last inning, but now has run herself into some trouble here in the top of the 4th. Tara Blanco and Aiden Falk waiting in the wings. The 1-0 on its way to Peters. Swing, line drive, slicing foul down the left field line.
Surprised that Miami hasn't put in some kind of shift for her.
I'm surprised they even have a right fielder right now. Every single hit that Peters has had today has been a line drive or a hard ground ball to the left side, with the exception of one soft ground ball to the left side that she beat out for an infield hit. Conference in the circle now. I don't think anybody is ready to make a substitution at this very moment. Clarissa Crowell, the head coach of the Red Hawks, out there having some words. And I did just pick that up from a Miami of Ohio announcer who is also calling the game at the same time we are.
And Moore will go limping to the Miami dugout.
Looks like somebody might be kind of injured.
Yeah, that will be the shortstop, Mackenzie Moore. If I had to guess, maybe she hurt herself jumping after that Natalia Rodriguez pop-up that landed just behind her. She really did have to go full extension for that one. But that's going to lead to some defensive shifts for the Red Hawks. We'll keep y'all updated as soon as we know what's going on.
Initially, like she was suffering a leg cramp in that left leg, but training staff taking no chances. Take her to the dugout.
Not something you ever want to see.
Not at all. Not at all.
Hopefully just, pulled something. One of those sort of minor knocks that'll heal with a night or a week of rest.
And next in for Miami is going to be number 21.
Yep. Johnny and Wall, the former first baseman, will be moving to third base. Kat Lee, the third baseman, moving to shortstop. And into the game at first base will be Ashton Sloan, previously the designated player. Well, that's what she's designated for, I guess. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out on number 1-1, Natalie Peters. The pitch on the way from Rothy. She takes, and it's a curveball that just misses low and in for ball 2. It's really such a win to be broadcasting at the same time as someone more experienced in the same booth, because I can kind of parrot what they say if I don't have anything to say myself. 2-1 the count. Pitch on the way from Rothy. Peters squares to bunt. It bounces on top of home plate, and it just skipped off the dirt behind home plate. A split second before the catcher Wispel picked it up. Home plate is in fair territory, but once it hits that dirt behind, it's a foul ball, and home plate umpire Tony Greer on top of things ruled it as such. That was an interesting call. Deep in the at-bat, showing bunt for the first time.
Well, we do know how fast she is, and she showed it with her first home run scored earlier.
The 2-2 on the way to Peters, swinging a soft grounder towards second. They'll flip to second one, and that's all they're going to get. The force out gets Canfield out at second base, so there will be runners at the corners with 2 outs for Tara Blanco.
Peters finally hits one towards the right side.
Yeah, she shouldn't do that. Doesn't work.
A great job by
that was Haley Tran at second.
Yeah,
oh, you're talking.
Who's the first baseman? Was it Canfield?
Yeah,
right?
Canfield.
Great job
slide.
by Canfield sliding to disrupt the throw, and Peters letting her speed take over to get to first.
It's a long backhanded flip by the second baseman Tran. Blanco takes first pitch curveball, doesn't catch the outside corner. Ball 1 to Blanco. Her last at bat, she laced a double into the right center field gap. We've mentioned a couple times the position of the corner outfielders. It makes those gaps pretty wide.
Very wide. Center fielder on an island, it looks like.
The 1-0 on its way. Rise ball misses high for ball 2. Neither pitch especially close to Tara Blanco.
Well, each of these shortstop and second baseman immediately running in as if ready to take a pickoff throw.
The runner at first base is Peters, a threat to go. Swing and a rocket foul down the left field line. That one fouled by about 15 feet, but Blanco really squared it up. The count moves to 2-1. It's a case of swinging freely, you know, with a 2-0 count. That might not have even been a strike, but she got a good look at it. So Rothi, the lefty, gets the sign from Wistful Wines. The 2-1, swing, fly ball, right center field. That one deep toward the wall, caught on the run by Megan Wirtz. About a step in front of the warning track, had to brace herself against the wall to stop her stride for the final out of the inning. Blanco got a good chunk of that ball, but it's nothing but a long, loud out to end the Wolverines' threat. They tack on one more on the Alexander solo shot, but we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Wolverines with a 5-0 lead here on WCBN Sports' call of Michigan softball. So it'll be Beaubien becoming ever more comfortable with each passing inning, as she recorded a 1-2-3 inning last inning, and she's got plenty of run support. This is about what you were looking for if you're a Michigan Wolverines softball fan heading into this weekend.
Yeah, I'd say even that first inning, you know, it's good to get some sort of response to what may be a little bit of a challenge, you know? Just get a good test, get to test yourself, and that's what these preseason tournaments are for. Big Ten played right around the corner. Home opener is on Wednesday.
Yeah, the main goal of all of these tournaments is to work out whatever kinks you might have for a team that's trying to contend for hosting an NCAA tournament regional. The goal of the tournament is to work out whatever kinks you might have without sustaining any losses in the process. And, you know, so far Michigan has set themselves up well to do that. They've already got a couple of high-profile wins against Louisiana Lafayette and Baylor under their belts, and now they're sort of figuring out their identity, and that's part of what that adversity does. It helps to form that.
The bats continue to pick up the slack, as we've seen in the last 2 innings, and now it's going to be what I think is the calling card for this team, the pitching.
Absolutely. Caitlin Glia, the center fielder, leading things off, takes the first pitch. Curveball hit the glove of Alexander right where she set up, but she set up a bit inside for ball 1. Glia fouled out to first base with the bases loaded in her first at-bat. The 1-0 check swing, curveball up and in, missed the plate, appealed on to first base, and of course she did not go. So that's 2 for 3, I think. The first base ump saying no go. Just the one time.
No go. They don't call it.
The 2-0 riser called strike, outside corner, thigh high. Glia, the center fielder, a righty, stands far back from the plate. Her left foot nearly on the outer line of the right-handed batter's box. Swings at the 2-1 pitch, drives it foul, not home run distance, but into the bleachers, the concrete concourse behind the home, or I guess the visitors' bullpen. Down that first base line. Glia in open stance. Bat just above her right shoulder. The 2-2 pitch bounces about 10 feet in front of home plate. Glia not tempted to take up a career in cricket and offer at that one. The count remains, well, it moves full on Glia to lead off at the bottom of the fourth for the home Redhawks. Beaubien gets her sign, working quickly. The payoff pitch, swinging a pop-up just over the press box. We hear the thud. Count remains full. Wolverines defense trying to stay loose. I don't think Maddie Uden's seen any action today over at third. Payoff pitch. Curveball misses low. It's the fourth walk of the game for Megan Beaubien.
Yeah, Uden hasn't had a chance to show off the leather quite like she did against Dayton. Handled a couple of line drives pretty nicely in that opening game.
So nobody out. One on. Riley Wispel, the catcher, at the plate. Squares to bunt, lays it down. It's fielded by Beaubien. She turns, flips to the covering Canfield at first base. Routine out on the sacrifice bunt. That's one I don't understand. Just because they're down, by 5 runs. Playing for 1 run here in the 4th inning doesn't strike me as the highest yield strategy. But hey, it was executed well.
Well, with what they were going for, they did advance a runner to second. So we can question the strategy, but they at least executed, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to try a bad strategy and succeed than to try a bad strategy and fail in that instance. First pitch to Morgan Lott, the left fielder, misses low for ball 1. Now the 1-0 on the way to the lefty. Lott splits the plate for a called strike 1. Morgan Lott, a freshman of Caledonia, Ohio. Went to River Valley High School. She stands at 5'2". The 1-1 bunted. That one almost a beauty. Picked up by Katie Alexander about 6 inches to the left of the third base line. Probably about 5 feet from home plate. Would have been a tough play if it were fair.
She had the right idea to bunt it very lightly down that third base line. Just rolling foul, though.
The 1-2 on its way from Beaubien. Swing and a miss. A half cut at a changeup that had her totally fooled. Strikeout number 5 for Megan Beaubien here in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Jenny Vasquez. She'll be a designated player hitting in the spot where Mackenzie Moore used to be. Moore, of course, left with the injury. Vasquez, a righty, stands toward the back of the box. Slightly open stance, takes the first pitch, a curveball low. Holds her bat high, about a 60-degree angle from the ground. Vasquez, a 5'4" junior out of Norwalk, California. Takes a curveball in there for a called strike, belt high on the outer half. 1-1 the count. Glia, the runner on second base. 2 outs. 5-0 Michigan, bottom of the 5th. Another curveball from Beaubien. That one just misses low and away.
This umpire really does not give in to the catcher's framing pitches.
That's the sign of a good ump.
He has not fallen for any of them.
Beaubien checks her armband, working a little more deliberately. The 2-1 pitch on its way, swinging a pop-up jam shot off the screen behind home plate. Hard curveball up and in from the lefty Beaubien. Despite all the griping that I've done about Beaubien's performance, she's 1 out away from getting through 4 one-hit innings. She's still been pretty good.
No, I mean, that's kind of the standards that we've held her to, is that we know how good she is, that when she walks, 3-4 batters and lets more than 1 runner an inning get on base, that's
it is below her standard.
That's kind of the standard that she set for herself.
The 2-2 changeup just misses high for ball 3. While we were talking, there was also a foul off the screen on a pitch low and away. So now the count full on Jenny Vasquez. In case our listeners were puzzling over some sort of time incongruity. Beaubien winds, payoff pitch on the way, swinging a pop-up, right side, diving catch by Tara Blanco. snags that one in foul territory and ends the Red Hawks' threat in the bottom of the fourth.
Great hustle play by Tara Blanco, ready to get that inning over with.
That's tough to read off the bat when it comes with so much spin at, kind of a glancing blow off the bat. It's hard to read the power. She sort of had a staggering first step directly to her left and then charged in, dove, and Blanco's a fabulous athlete at first base, in the circle, wherever, and flashes the leather, again for the Wolverines. So Beaubien through 4 scoreless, has struck out 5, walked 4, given up 1 hit. The Wolverines 5 runs on 9 hits. We'll head into the top of the 5th. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Wolverines. Aiden Falk, followed by Madison Uden and Alex Subject. The 5, 6, 7 spots in this Wolverines lineup, the only spots without a hit in this game. And they will be facing a different look out there in the circle. Now pitching for the Red Hawks, number 5, Shannon Homan. Homan with 32 innings pitched on the year, a 3.82 ERA, 4-3 win-loss, 18 strikeouts, 10 walks. She threw 5 scoreless, 5 innings without giving up an earned run in her first outing of the weekend. The Red Hawks come in on a 2-game win streak. So it'll be the lefty Falk leading off for the Michigan Wolverines.
Pitched 33 innings, allowed 37 hits, 22 runs, 18 of those earned, walked 10.
Homan, a 5'7" junior out of Naperville, Illinois.
For the Wolverines, check that.
Looks in, gets the sign, winds, delivers. Swing and a miss. Big hack. A pitch at her neck.
Falk wanted it all on that pitch.
Behind in the count, 0-1. Just a loud, windy strike.
She really wanted that one.
The 0-1 on its way from Homan. Curveball called strike on the outside corner. That's a good spot from the junior. Another player out of Naperville, Illinois. Naperville, the wealthiest city of over 75,000 residents in the Midwest.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what qualifies as the Midwest, but Falk swings, loops one foul down the left field line, out of the reach of the charging lot.
What, Midwest, like Ohio, Illinois, Iowa?
I don't know what the criteria is.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. That's usually what I think. Those kind of like 6 states.
I know that because there were a couple of Naperville players on that Dayton team as well. I was all ready to talk about Naperville North High School and their math team. The 0-2 pitch, swing, one hop, stabbed on the backhand by Haley Tran. She's had a busy day there at second base, and she gets it done against Aiden Falk for the first out of the inning. Falk's had a couple of hard one-hop shots to second base, but they usually shade her pretty deep at that spot, and that's just because she hits the ball hard to that side pretty often. That brings up Madison Uden, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch by Homan, curveball in the dirt. Takes for ball 1. Uden did square to bunt and pulled back. Uden started last game with a couple of strikeouts as well. Her third at-bat, she had a 2-run single back up the middle. Took second on the throw, if I recall correctly. The 1-0 on its way, squares to bunt again. This pitch is a curveball. Catches the outside corner for a called strike 1. I don't know if she ever has had an intent to bunt in this at-bat. I think that's just her way of, taking until she sees a strike.
Right, and I mean, it could just be a ploy to kind of mess with the pitcher.
Another ground ball. That's the same spot she hit that RBI single last game after a couple of strikeouts. This time no run score, but she is aboard here with 1 out in the top of the 5th.
Well, eventually the numbers will show themselves. Madison Uden came into this tournament batting almost at 400. Delivers again.
Yeah, she's still around there.
There will be a pinch hitter.
It's Abby Skvars. We saw Skvars pinch hit last game. I think she had an RBI ground out in her lone appearance. That she did. She will be pinch hitting this time for Alex Subject. Last game when she came on, it was for Katie Alexander. I don't think it would be too wise to pinch hit for Katie Alexander in this one.
No, I'd say give her another shot to Hackett.
First pitch, hard riser, misses well high, about helmet level. Skvarce takes for ball 1. Uden over at first base. 2 for 2 on stolen base attempts this season. The 1-0 curveball, called strike on the outside corner. Homan really been pounding that backdoor spot with the curve against the Michigan lefties.
Count 1-1 now to the designated player, Skvarce.
Homan gets the sign. The 1-1 on its way. Swinging a jam shot foul right over the head of Carol Hutchins, and she after she sees it go over her, she sort of mimics Skvarce's swing.
Trying to correct it.
Yeah, not to be so defensive, to be powerful, to stride, bring those hands through the ball.
Don't shy away from it.
Something like that. Who knows? 1-2 the count now on Skvarce. The pitch on its way from Homan, swing and a miss. It was a curveball off the plate outside, but that was set up by that called strike earlier in that bat. Skvarce forced to chase, and that's the second out of the inning for the Wolverines.
So Haley Hoganrod, who has not registered a hit yet today, will get another opportunity to do so.
She's got to get one now, because otherwise Alexander's just going to have to trudge back into the dugout and put on her gear again.
Oh, yeah, she needs to.
Swinging a pop-up foul on the right side, and a fan makes a running barehanded catch. Of course he's barehanded. He didn't bring his glove, and his dog watches and wags his tail in a
Yeah, how about that dog wagging its tail, like ready to fetch it?
Why wasn't the dog making the catch?
Jeez.
Just not paying enough attention to the game.
He's being held right now.
The 0-1 on its way, changeup, swing and a foul. Hoganrod, I think, wants that pitch back.
It's a slow one. Yeah, she would love to have that one back. It's a nice little toss over the plate.
The count now 0-2 on the Michigan sophomore. They're ready with a wide squared stance toward the back of the box. Now she steps out as Wispel calls time and comes out to share some words with Homan. Uden hasn't shown any signs of increased activity over at first base. She'll be off on contact with 2 outs. Wind picking up a bit, still blowing in from right or right center. The 0-2 on its way, a pitch out, the throw down to first, doesn't catch Uden leaning. Count now 1-2 on Hoganrod. Trying to get Uden running on an easy one. No such luck. The 1-2 on its way to Hoganrod. Swing and a miss. Homan with 2 strikeouts straight to end the inning and set down the Wolverines. They do not score in their 3rd consecutive inning. Instead, tally their 3rd scoreless frame of the game. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-0 Wolverines behind the left arm of Megan Beaubien. It's a place you want to be, really. Crooked run lead, Beaubien in the circle, doesn't get much better.
Yeah, Michigan really in a great spot right now. Just have to execute down the stretch. They should be able to finish things up. Although the last time I said that on a WCBN broadcast, the women's basketball team blew a 16-point 4th quarter lead to Purdue. So just keep that in mind.
Nah. Nothing worth keeping in mind. Beaubien's got this on lock. That's the expectation, at least. I can't think of any point this year where Michigan has had a comfortable lead and Megan Beaubien has been in the game and Michigan has then blown that lead and blown that game. Usually, when Michigan has sustained losses, it's been because they just couldn't get any runs on the board. Michigan's given up more than 3 runs once this season. Guess how many runs they gave up? It was 4.
Wow.
They don't get tagged. Michigan has not given up 5 runs yet this season. They played some good competition.
Yep.
That just means that it's never going to happen, right?
Well, I mean, a number 1 seed was never going to lose to a 16 seed.
Yeah. Then it happened in 1998 when the Harvard women upset.
That's right, they did it first.
Yep. Megan Wirtz, the leadoff hitter, leads off the inning for the Redhawks, takes a first pitch curveball low for ball 1. Wirtz 0 for 0 on base in both of her plate appearances. The Crows circling here in Oxford. Wonder what they see out here. The 1-0 big hack and a miss from Megan Wirtz. Hitting .393 coming into the game. Over 500 OBP. She had a 4-pitch walk in the first inning. Got hit with a pitch back in the second. 1-1. Bounces in front of home plate to Wirtz. She takes easily. Count moves to 2-1 on Wirtz. You know, with a hitter of Megan's caliber, you could do Wirtz than a walk.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
2-1 on its way. Curveball. Called strike at the knees, outside corner. The count runs to 2-2. I don't think Megan is going to give in this battle, though. A battle for superiority of Megan.
Megan versus Megan, of course. Spelled differently, though.
One with an H. The 2-2 on its way. Swing and a miss. Wirtz down on strikes. Couldn't keep up with the gas out of the left hand.
Beaubien gets her back for that early walk. And we'll add a strikeout to her stat line as well.
Point for Megan with an H.
Her 6th strikeout of the game.
That brings up Haley Tran, the lefty second baseman. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sac bunt. First pitch on the way. The lefty slapper. Tran gets her run up, watches it go by. It's a curveball on the inner half for a called strike 1. Peters doing the trademark shift toward the left center field gap. 0-1, big swing and a miss on the changeup. I love that pitch.
She is showing her stuff right now.
It's just so much more effective for Beaubien because of how hard and commanding she throws when she's locating the hard stuff. The 0-2 on its way. Riser high and outside.
Yeah, when she can take command over the entire plate, then she's basically unhittable.
Her ERA on the season right now down to 1.
Wow.
The 0-2, or 1-2, swinging a slow roller to short. Rodriguez stumbles over herself, has to throw off her right foot, but still gets the out at first base. She got to that ball very quickly, rushed it a bit, but still able to remain composed enough to get the throw across the diamond. Train's got a lot of pace. So 2 up, 2 down for the Red Hawks here in the bottom of the 5th. That brings up Ashton Sloan now at first base. First pitch, it is that changeup she takes in the dirt for ball 1. Sloan, the lefty, 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. Bat nearly parallel to the ground, awaits, swings, fouls it back to the screen. That hard riser in above her hands. Count even at 1-1. Nobody on, 2 outs. Ever since the Wolverines took their big lead, the Redhawks haven't threatened much. Curveball called strike, perfect pitch, outside corner. The count moves to 1-2.
Great movement from the inside to the outside on her pitches. Just makes her so dangerous. The repertoire that she carries, not just a hard pitcher.
The 1-2, swing and a foul tip.
Very close.
Bounces just past Katie Alexander, the catcher. Yeah, before the season in the preview works, Angelique Chingalis of I think she's the Detroit News, might be the Free Press, I get them confused a lot, called Beaubien a spin doctor, quote unquote. The 1-2 on its way, swing and a miss, blew away Sloan with the high heat. Some more gas from the lefty freshman. Strikeout number 7, one for every day of the week for Megan Beaubien, and the Wolverines lead 5-0 heading into the top of the 6th.
All smiles on her face. She is showing her stuff here in Miami, Ohio, and it's great to see for the Wolverines.
Yeah, she didn't have it to start the game. She's found it now, and look out to whoever has the misfortune of facing her tomorrow. So it'll be Alexander Rodriguez Canfield starting things off for the Wolverines here in the top of the 6th.
It's been a pretty nice combo so far today.
They're combined 5 for 5 with 2 home runs. Some good defense and God knows how many RBI. It'll be Homan back out there. She's been pretty solid out of the pen so far. It's about what you would expect out of your junior, I guess, leader. Anyway, the Naperville North math team, I don't know if you know this, but they've won 26 out of the last 28 state championships. I don't know how math competitions work, but rest assured, that Naperville North team is a juggernaut.
Stacked.
I was waiting to drop that on y'all during the Dayton game, but game moved
missed
pretty quickly.
opportunity. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's it's quite an interesting stat there.
Yeah, at least I'm getting these facts out there when I can. First pitch to Katie Alexander, curveball, called strike on the outside corner. Some good left, or I guess, yeah, it is left to right from our vantage point movement from home in there. Wind picking up and moving in. Infield and outfield straight away on the catcher Alexander. 2 for 2 on the day. The 0-1. That curveball misses low. Homan pats her chest. A universally recognized gesture of my bad. Count 1-1. Homan winds. Pitch on the way. Swinging a rocket off the glove of the third baseman Wall. It skitters into left field. It will be a single for Katie Alexander. It was a rocket. It was, off the glove, but you can't really call that an error because it's almost too fast for a human to react.
I mean, the fact that she was able to even get her glove up there was impressive.
The fact that it wasn't headed for her face is, we're all grateful for that.
Very, very fortunate, yes.
It'd be hard to dodge. That'll bring up Rodriguez. She lays down no, she doesn't lay down a bunt. She tries to lay down a bunt and misses for strike one. Alexander now 3 for 3 on the day. Rodriguez 1 for 1 with a sac bunt and a bloop single. The 0-1 she takes. And the curveball misses high for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Michigan 5 runs on 11 hits, no errors. Miami, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. The 1-1 on its way. A slapped roller toward the third base side. It's a foul ball. I don't think that made it foul. It was trickling toward that foul direction when Johnny Ann Wall, the third baseman, picked it up. I think she picked that up before it got foul.
I do too. I mean, if anything, her glove was on the line when that ball bounced in there. I don't think it ever actually hit foul territory.
As long as 1 iota of the ball is touching 1 speck of that line, it's a fair ball.
Yeah, she went too early.
The 1-2 on the way, curveball just misses off the plate outside. It almost looked like Tony Greer was punching her out, but instead it's ball 2. So now 2-2. This at-bat hanging in the margins for Natalia Rodriguez. Alexander at first. Pitch on the way. Curveball misses way outside. Nice stop by Wispel, flaring out that glove and sprawling toward her left to keep that in front of her. So the count full. Wispel sharing some whispers with Shannon Homan. Out there in the circle, Hutch and Rodriguez. Also, maybe talking about dinner plans.
Now we still got another inning and a half at least to go after this one.
Homan winds the payoff pitch to Rodriguez, swing and a tapper foul behind home plate. Count stays full on the freshman shortstop. This has been the first weekend where I've really gotten to see her defense on display, and I have been just roundly impressed by every facet of Rodriguez's game. The full count pitch, swinging a slow tapper, Homan fields to her, ranging to her right. The throw to first gets by Sloan into shallow right field. The right fielder Wirtz backing it up, but Alexander will scamper over to third. I think that's probably going to go down as an error, maybe on Sloan on the reception.
I'd say so.
It was not a perfect throw from the pitcher Shannon Homan, but
still catchable.
Yeah, you can kind of see why Sloan started this game as a designated player rather than starting it out there at first base.
Yes.
It was tough, and it was made tight by Rodriguez's speed down that first base line.
E6 or E3, one or the other against Miami. And Alexander.
Remains to be seen how that's going to be charged. But either way, first and third, no out Faith Canfield at the plate. First pitch curveball right down the heart of the plate for a called strike one.
Canfield takes a look at a strike on the first pitch. Canfield.
Rodriguez a threat to go. Already a stolen base in this one. Canfield 2 for 2. Takes. Curveball misses high and outside for ball one. Canfield a single early. A home run sandwiched between that single and a hit by pitch. Reaching base all three times. The 1-1 swinging a jam shot toward the right side. A diving catch by Haley Tran. Really a reaching catch, and her momentum carried her to the ground, but still a nice play ranging into that hole on the right-hand side to retire Faith Canfield.
Very nice play, and holds the Wolverine runners as well with the infield out. So no additional damage yet in the top of the 6th inning.
So I think Natalie Peters has learned to never, ever hit the ball to the right side. She did in her last at-bat. Not only was she out, but now she's being pinch hit for by Thais Gonzalez. Clearly she's lost her starting spot in the lineup, and her career's over.
It couldn't just be that with a 5-0 lead, Hutchins wants to work some of the other batters and get them ready for Big Ten play as well.
Could be that too. Gonzalez, really a lot of whispers about her preseason as a defensive magician in the outfield. Runner goes. The throw down to second will be cut off by the shortstop Lee, but Alexander is not going from third. It'll be either a stolen base or defensive indifference. However it's scored, Rodriguez takes second, so runners on second and third. One out, 0-1 the count now on Thais Gonzalez. The 0-1 on its way, curveball called strike at the knees on the outside corner. Another backdoor offering from Shannon Homan. Spotting those well. Gonzalez the lefty, a slapper. 3 of 24 on the season. She takes that curveball and it's way off the plate outside. So the count now moves to 1-2 on Thais Gonzalez. Infield and outfield in on the slapper. She holds the bat out in front, now pulls it back. Homan winds, the 1-2, swinging a pop-up. It's going to barely, it might not even make it to the outfield grass. It's caught on the edge of the outfield grass by the charging left fielder, Morgan Lott. So no chance to advance the runners. They will stay on second and third, now with 2 outs for Tara Blanco. And now Clarissa Crowell, the head coach, out to share some words with Homan and Wispel, her catcher. The infields congregate just behind the rubber between that and second base. Maybe they're talking about dinner plans too. Who knows?
They could be, or they could maybe also be discussing how to finish this inning with an out.
Man, I'm not that interested in dinner plans at this point. I'm just figuring out how we're going to watch some basketball tonight.
Yeah, we got some good games on tonight. And it looks like Buffalo on behind us only down 6 to Kentucky.
That's intriguing. That's a high-scoring first half. But yeah, dinner plans are pretty far from my mind after the fantastic burgers we had at Scotty's.
Good stuff. Good stuff, I will say.
The anti-resolution, I think they were called.
I believe that's what it was called. It had
loaded with fat.
A lot of bad stuff for you, but a lot of really good tasting stuff for you.
Along with some waffle fries. First pitch curveball misses low to Tara Blanco. Yeah, we're living our best lives. I'm not living it on the station budget, though, because I forgot the receipt, so had to pay for that myself.
Ooh, tough mistake.
The 1-0 on its way from Homan, swinging a ground ball over to short. Tough play for Lee. She can't make it. It gets under her glove into shallow left. 2 runs will score on the error by Kat Lee. And really, there has been a ripple effect this inning of the injury to the shortstop, Mackenzie Moore. First, the replacement first baseman misses on a throw. And then second, Kat Lee, who shifted from third base to shortstop, can't make the play on a ball in a hole that is probably more or less routine for a regular shortstop.
Yeah, Miami probably not the deepest team to be able to handle some of these injuries, especially mid-game like this, not having the preparation time necessary.
Yeah, especially to a shortstop. So now it's 7-0. Brings up Aiden Falk. She takes the first pitch curveball outside for ball 1. So these runs will be unearned for Shannon Holman, who's just got to be thinking, oh, man, this has gotten out of hand. The 1-0 pitch fouled off the screen on the left side. The count even at 1-1.
It has gotten out of hand. 7-0. Wolverines are in firm control right now.
Aiden Falk looking to bring us into run rule territory. Blanco, the runner on first. The one poised to do that. The 1-1 pitch curveball misses high and outside for ball 2. On deck is Madison Uden. Looks like Taylor Swearingen will pinch hit for her if this inning makes it to that point. 2-1 the count. Swing and a ground ball back up the middle off the glove of the second baseman Tran, and it deflects right to Lee covering second base. I don't know if that gets scored as a 4-3 or if it's just a 6 unassisted player's choice. But,
man.
Couldn't draw it up any better than that.
Jeez. A little push on the ground. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's not something. I haven't seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that like that. That was interesting.
Yeah, Haley Tran diving to her backhand, just able to get a piece of glove on it, and it bounces, rolls like a putt.
So it looks like the Wolverines will have to play the complete game.
Yeah, I'll bet Beaubien's not complaining. It's doing wonders for her ERA.
Jeez. Stat chaser.
Yeah, well, she can chase all the stats she wants as long as the one stat that counts remains 0 on that board. Miami scoreless through 5, looking to get something started here in the bottom of the 6th. That'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters in the lineup. Johnny Ann Wall, followed by Kat Lee and Caitlin Glia. Those hitters, a combined 1 for 5. Wall has, as of yet, the only hit of the game for the Miami Redhawks. That one, a line drive single into right field. Came with runners on first and second and 1 out back in the first inning. Loaded the bases. And that's as close as the Redhawks have gotten to scoring. In all fairness, that's about as close as you can get to scoring without scoring. First pitch to Wall, curveball, called strike in there on the outside half. Infield and outfield straight away. They've become less and less involved as Beaubien has gotten dialed in. The 0-1 swinging a foul back to the screen.
It has been a while since her last mound visit. So they're letting her really just stick to herself and play her game.
Looks like Swearingen made the full replacement. She's out there at third base for Madison Uden. She'll hit next inning. The 0-2 swing and a miss. Not sure whether that was a backdoor curve up or a riser outside. Either way, the result is the 8th strikeout of the game for Megan Beaubien. Again, for all the grief, she's out here putting up numbers.
I mean, and really, a lot of that did come in the first inning. Since then, she's just been electric.
First pitch to Kat Lee. Riser misses high for ball 1. Lee 0 for 2, a strikeout swinging and a ground out to the shortstop Rodriguez in her 2 at-bats. Beaubien looks in, gets the sign, the 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, she's just throwing some nasty stuff right now.
It's gotten nastier and nastier progressively. Canfield, the second baseman, shaded deep into the hole between first and second. The 1-1 swing and a miss. A tardy cut from Kat Lee. Really not that close.
No, Megan is done playing around, is what it looks like.
1-2 the count. Gets the sign from Alexander. Delivers, swing and a tapper foul. Off the end of the bat, down the right side. Off the bat of Kat Lee. Lee, the third baseman, moved to shortstop. Was hitting .291 entering this game, now down to .281. Beaubien looks in. Gets the sign, the 1-2 yet again, swinging a foul back to the screen. She almost had to fight that one off from hitting her as it was a curveball moving in on her hands.
the sixth inning.
So Lee being pesky, keeping the at-bat alive. Beaubien looks in, working quickly. The 1-2, swinging another foul, slapped over to the right side.
Into the parking lot.
Yeah, there are cars, trucks,
Very
trailers
nearby.
over there. Looks like Lee seems to have adjusted to Beaubien's speed. I would not be surprised to see her pull out that change. The 1-2 on its way. I think she pulled out the change. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Lee down on strikes.
Oh, you called it, man. Wow.
That one bounced well in front of home plate. Yeah, you know, it's an art. It's an art, and Megan Beaubien
Strikeout number 9.
is playing the part of a visionary. She's a beauty, that number 9. First pitch, curveball off the plate, low and away to Caitlin Glia, the center fielder.
Megan knows there's basketball on tonight.
Didn't get to ask her about her bracket. Haley Hoganrod and Madison Uden had not completed theirs as of Wednesday, so remains to be seen whether or not they actually made one. Curveball, called strike at the knees on the outside corner. Meanwhile, it looks like Kentucky is
Starting to pull
lengthening
away.
their first half lead.
Hey, you just got to cut to 10.
The 1-1 pitch line drive down the left field line. A diving play to cut it off by the left fielder. I think that is Thais Gonzalez now.
Hoganrod is over and left, I believe. That's what, at least what it...
I think Hoganrod might be in center field. It's hard to tell, but I'm almost certain that is. My glasses aren't high strength, but I think that's Gonzalez out and left, and Hoganrod in center field.
Yeah, I think this display is not updated.
Either way, it was a really nice play to dive and
Yeah.
cut that ball off from going to the wall. It held Glia to a single.
Yeah.
That is Thais Gonzalez out there in left
Okay.
field. First pitch to Wisple is a riser off the plate away for ball 1. Beaubien rocks back, the 1-0, swinging a line drive, base hit through the right side. Just as we were singing Megan Beaubien's praises, she gives up 2 consecutive hits.
Well, all right.
Room for improvement. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Give herself a challenge to work with.
Yeah, that'll bring up the left fielder, Morgan Lott.
Something going here with 2 outs.
Her lot in this game has been to go 0 for 1 with a walk. It's been a long day on limited rest, so the puns are going to be pretty low effort at this point. Also high volume. Pinch runner over at first base for Riley Wisple, the catcher who just got that hit, will be number 8, Carol Leckinger. Also listed as a catcher out of Aurora, Illinois. I swear I had a fact about Aurora, Illinois, too, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to pull that off. I think one of the day. Oh, man, a foul ball into the dugout. That might have hit someone. I think it might have ricocheted off of the glove of number 11, Kat Lee, in the dugout. I don't know why she's even wearing her glove in the dugout, but thank goodness she was, because that was a rocket.
Well, that happened earlier this morning, too, almost. Someone's head almost got taken off this morning. Same spot. And, yeah, it's kind of a peculiar spot to put an opening. And then an even worse spot to stand.
You're not kidding. The 0-1 pitch, a bunt attempt by Lott. She pulls back at a changeup in the dirt. The count now 1-1 with 2 on and 2 outs for the Red Hawks, trailing 7-0 in the bottom of the 6th. She swings at the next pitch, bounces it back to Beaubien. The throw to first is in time. I think Lott might have even been out of the batter's box when she made contact, but that's neither here nor there as Beaubien fields her position well, made the out to end the inning, and we'll head to the top of the 7th. Michigan a 7-0 lead over the University of Miami. Over the Miami University Red Hawks. I was told that it is Miami University, not University of Miami, so I had to correct myself. So we'll be Homan out in the circle. The righty hit for a couple of unearned runs last inning. Hasn't seen a lot of hard contact by her Wolverine foes. She's going to see some bats she hasn't seen yet. Swearingen will lead off for the Wolverines, followed by Abby Skavars, whom I think her only at-bat was against Taylor Rothie.
Yeah, she went 0 for 1. She missed.
If I'm not mistaken. And then Hoganrod is due up to follow. I'm not sure whether she will be hitting or Thais Gonzalez or maybe even another pinch hitter. The lineup's gone all topsy-turvy.
Yeah, they're just getting girls' looks right now in this seemingly garbage time in the top of the 7th.
Well, the Crows have fled, but there is a lone turkey vulture circling the field. And I'm not going to make a metaphor for the Red Hawks' hopes in this game, but I think I just did. So Swearingen leading things off. Third baseman hitting .333 on the season. A .500 on-base percentage.
So the sun is starting to push through a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's turning out to be a really nice evening here in Oxford. Swearingen 3 for 9 on the year. 3 walks as well. Actually put up some pretty impressive numbers. Hasn't gotten a lot of burn, mostly because Uden has just put on a show in her time at third base. But now a chance, every at-bat in these late game stages, a chance to earn another at-bat later on. Maybe a start here and there. If you keep taking advantage, keep showing up for Coach Hutch, you're going to earn some more chances.
Just put something good on film. That's all you can do for yourself.
First pitch from Homan, swinging a pop-up. Foul. Not sure if that's going to make its way over the screen. Will the wind push it? It will. Lands about 2 or 3 rows deep right behind home plate. Wispel, the catcher, did pull off her mask. She was ready to go after that, but didn't have the Spider-Man talents to climb the screen and reach over.
That was about as high as it gets.
Swearingen, I've noted as having hit some of the longest foul balls that I've ever seen any Wolverine hit. The 0-1 looked like an off-speed pitch, misses high for ball 1. You know, that thing I thought was a vulture might have just been another especially big crow.
No, it was a vulture.
Okay, good. Don't want to mix up my metaphors. The 1-1 curveball misses low for ball 2. I'd have all our ornithologist listeners just on my neck.
Ornithologists.
2-1 the count to Taylor Swearingen. Nobody on, nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Wolverines trying to close this one out. The pitch from Homan, curveball, again misses low. Good eye from Swearingen. She draws her fair share of walks. This looks like maybe another one in that column. Homan fiddles with the ball in her right hand, gets the sign from Wispel. Wines delivers the 3-1 big cut. And a miss from Taylor Swearingen. Looked to be pretty far off where that ball ended up.
Yeah, Homan appears to be pretty good at limiting the walks. Just 10 walks allowed in 35 innings. So, not like a very low amount, but also not an astronomical amount either.
The count 3-2 on Swearingen. The pitch on its way from Homan. Curveball misses off the plate inside. Wispel held it for an extra beat, but that was Wispel thinking. Swearingen down to first base with a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Abby Skavars. 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far today. So far in this game. Skavars' average dropped to .357 on the season. First pitch, swinging a foul back to the screen by the lefty Skavars. She's got a slender frame, but don't be fooled. She's got plenty of pop from that left-handed side. Has 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out as she waits for Homan to get ready. Stands close to the plate, slightly open. Pitch on the way, swinging a line drive foul down that left field line. Squared that outside pitch up well, but couldn't quite get it inside those white lines. This game remains well attended. Got, I think, some Fort Wayne or Robert Morris members overhanging the outfield fence. 0-2 pitch, curveball, this time inside. Skvarce takes, and it's a bit high for ball one. Swearingen down at first base. Not a dynamic threat on the base paths. Homan winds, the 1-2 swing and a miss, and that'll be Skvarce's second strikeout in as many at-bats. Homan pulled the string, busted out the off-speed stuff, and Skvarce could not stay with it.
Another substitution for the Wolverines.
It'll be a distant cousin of yours, probably.
Long distant cousin, Amanda Vargas. I actually have no idea, but
we're all distant cousins. You go back far enough.
Yeah, if you go back far enough, exactly.
Vargas has been, as long as I have followed this team, she has been a pinch hitter, and a relatively effective one, I'd say. A little bit streaky. Chance to start a hot streak here for the Michigan senior. Homan winds, swing and a miss. Curveball caught a lot of the plate. Vargas couldn't barrel it up. One ball, one strike. No balls, one strike. One on, one out. Ball one on its way from Homan. Changeup just missed low. That one of those where time seems to stand still as the ball is suspended mid-flight. And yet still difficult for hitters to square those up unless they're waiting on it.
It's all about anticipation as being the hitter.
The 1-1, big swing and a miss from Amanda Vargas.
Doing a good job. Homan is mixing up the pitches. The speed mostly.
Absolutely. Amanda Panda, as they call her, now behind in the count 1-2. Homan agrees with the first sign she sees. The 1-2 curveball just misses off the plate outside. We'll say that was a good take from Amanda Vargas, but that seems
very close.
50-50 to
very,
me.
very, very close. But like you said, this umpire rather, does not give easily into the frames.
Vargas holds the bat out in front, pulls it back. The 2-2 curveball called strike three on the inside corner. And again, that's a pitch that was set up by the outside location of the previous pitch.
Yes.
Homan's impressed.
She has done well. She has it looks like a 3.53 ERA now. A winning record, 4-3 on the year.
Yeah, she's really homing in on those corners.
Ooh.
That brings up Katie Alexander, the catcher for the Wolverines. 3 for 3 on the day. We'll see if Homan has the answer. First pitch, swinging a pop-up foul. It's going to make its way out of play. Skies it over toward that Labrador Retriever.
That dog looks, he's eyeing it, man.
One hop off the ground, two hops off the top of a bus. And it trickles into the parking lot where several children will give chase.
Look both ways.
Good advice. We don't have PA capability. Carol Hutchins demonstrating the swing she wants to see in the world. Out of Katie Alexander, the 0-1 on its way. Curveball inside, it hits her. She's gotten on base all 4 plate appearances. I don't think she wanted it to be that way, though. So now 2 on, 2 outs for Natalia Rodriguez. And we will see a pinch hitter. It's the 21 versus the 22. But we're going to see something else. Take your picks. Who's it going to be?
I wonder.
I don't even think Hutch knows.
I wonder if Lou Allen is active for this game.
It looks like it's going to be Mackenzie Nemitz.
Ooh. I actually told the Miami guy that there was no chance that she played today.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't get a lot of run for this team. So, yeah, Mackenzie Nemitz 0 for 3 on the year so far. Sort of a human victory cigar of sorts. Although this game not yet over. The lefty holds the bat out in front, pulls it back. First pitch from Homan. Curveball called strike at the knees on the outside corner. It's a rude welcome to the game there. Some pinpoint control.
Holman's not going to take it easy.
From the junior to Nemitz. Nemitz, the lefty, awaits. The 0-1 on its way. Curveball misses low and away for ball 1. How great would it be for Nemitz to just put a charge into one? I think it would be pretty great.
Dude, like, if she just cleared the fence, I think the dugout would, like, erupt.
It would empty. Even
Yes.
a gap shot, man. The 1-1. Swinging a pop-up on the infield. Haley Tran, now playing shortstop, charges to make the catch on the infield dirt for the final out of the inning. So the Wolverines put a couple aboard, but don't send any across home plate, and we will head to the bottom of the 7th inning. A 7-0 lead for the Wolverines, looking for a pair of 7-0 shutouts here on this first day of a 2-day weekend set in Oxford, Ohio.
Let's see if Megan Beaubien can do what she does best and get out of this inning short and sweet.
That would make it 14 shutout innings for freshmen for the Michigan Wolverines. We talked about on the podcast about how bright the future was for this team, and we've seen a demonstration right in front of our eyes today.
Right, Sarah Schaefer this morning and now Megan Beaubien in the circle. Both haven't allowed a run yet today and done a great job limiting the base runners. The future is bright.
Yeah, you know, there's not a lot of senior leadership. There's a lot of leadership from the seniors, but there aren't a lot of seniors in significant roles. It's really Blanco and Falk and not much else, but everyone has been stepping up. The freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors.
And I think that's something that they talked about at the opening media day, was that they, like, you don't get brownie points for being a leader. Like, you're expected to come in and do that, especially if you're an older upperclassman. Right? Like, that's not something that you get bonus rewards for. It's what's expected of you. And I think that everybody's done a great job of doing so.
Yeah, the junior leaders, Alexander and Canfield, leading by example in this one. First pitch from Beaubien, curveball called strike at the knees. On the outside corner to Jenny Vasquez, now playing second base. Vasquez, a righty, an open stance. Stands far away from the plate, back in the box. The 0-1, big hack and a miss, a riser on the outer half. No chance. Beaubien looking to reach double-digit strikeouts on the day. Beaubien rocks back. The 0-2 looked like a riser, that one. Tried to spot it at the knees, outside corner. Missed away. Count moves to 1-2. She's got so many options to go with now. Beaubien winds. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. The high heater. And that's number 10 for Megan Beaubien.
And she has matched her jersey number and trying to work an efficient inning.
Trying to get to a Natalie Peters or an Amanda Vargas, maybe.
Ooh.
That's kind of nerdy. That brings up Megan Wirtz. 0 for 1, swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
On the first pitch, a riser outside.
Well,
Wirtz, a walk, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout.
She is locked in.
She really is. Wirtz steps back in. Beaubien winds. The 0-1. Change-up, check, swing.
It's gotta go. Oh, we did it. Number 2 today.
I thought that might have even been close to a called strike, but that change-up is just so lethal.
I was gonna say, if that guy didn't give him the strike call on the check swing there,
you would come out of this booth yourself.
I was gonna say, man.
The 0-2 on its way, swinging a line drive foul off the high screen above the Michigan dugout down the first base line. Some low and away heat after the changeup. Good contrast and a good job by Wirtz to keep it alive. Wirtz, the senior, one of the best hitters on this Miami team. The count remains 0-2. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Wirtz down on strikes. The riser high and away. Number 11, we've got Natalie Peters. Number of strikeouts.
3 strikes to go.
That brings up Haley Tran, the number 2 batter in the order. She is 0 for 2 on the day, on the game. The first pitch to the lefty Tran from the lefty Beaubien, and a curveball misses low for ball one.
About to do the same to the Miami Redhawks.
Tran, a slapper, will face a drawn-in infield.
1-0 the count to Tran. 2 out, nobody on.
Beaubien gets the sign. The 1-0 swinging a pop-up left side. Thais Gonzalez ranges over toward the line and makes the catch, straddling that left field foul line, and that will do it. A pair of 3-hit shutouts for Michigan's 2 freshman hurlers. Megan Beaubien does it in style. 11 strikeouts to her name in this one as the Wolverines shut out the home Miami Redhawks. End of the day, 2-0, 14-0. Everybody contributing for this team.
Just another encouraging all-around performance by the Wolverines. Doing what they came here to do, take care of business, get better, and show that they are all improving and ready to contribute to Big Ten play.
Yeah, their performance so far definitely making it worth the drive, worth the early morning wake-up call, even if I had to miss that Virginia game. But speaking of college basketball, it's time for us to get out of here, and
We got some to watch.
ourselves.
It's religious.
Yeah, absolutely. Be sure to tune into our broadcast tomorrow. We'll be bringing you Fort Wayne and Robert Morris. Those games scheduled at the moment to start at 10 a.m. and 12:30 respectively. So be absolutely sure to tune into those. We'll be back. We hope you will be as well. Until then, for Lucas Vargas, I'm Morris Fabry. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will leave you with a good night and a go blue.